Welcome. It is Verdict with Senator Ted Cruz. Ben Ferguson with you. We got a few more days until Christmas, and we've got a couple of shows left. We're going to be talking about some really big issues, including, I think, the most shocking, and that is just how old Senator Ted Cruz is as of today. I did not know that I was going to have a 55-year-old elder friend. This is Seniors Coffee is real now. You can get that. You can, I think, get assistance at the airport without even needing a medical condition for one of those walkers now. That's exciting. I'm not going to push you through there, but I'll get someone to hold the sign up for you. What other benefits do you get, Senator? I mean, 55. 55.
Listen, Skippy.
I'm in my 40s. I'm not 45. I'm 44. We're 11 years apart right now.
Laddie, you need to learn to respect your elders. And
do I need to talk louder to you? Is that what you're saying?
What?
Respecting your elders?
Sorry,
Get
what?
off my lawn.
Okay, I said get off my lawn at 25. I
think
will
you
admit.
came out of the womb. I think you came out of the womb saying "Get off my lawn, sir." I think we could call your mom right now, and she would verify that.
All right, what was that Clint Eastwood movie? I forget what the name. Where he's the crotchety old man with the Trans Am. I forget what it was.
It's a great movie. It's
a great movie. Anyway, it's a great. Heidi laughs at me because I would drive along in Austin. This is 20 years ago, long before I was elected to the Senate. I'd drive along and I'd see protesters screaming about something, and I'd want to stop and argue with them.
Yeah,
and she'd just just stop it. And I'm like, well, no, I don't want to. But I will say, double nickel is kind of interesting. 55, so I am now officially eligible for AARP. I'll tell you what I tell all my friends when they turn a birthday. So now that I am, as of December 22nd, officially 55 years old, as terrifying as this is, I am closer to the age 110 than I am to birth.
Yes, that is true.
And by the way, when someone turns 25 and you tell them they're closer to 50 than to birth, it freaks them out. I mean, it really is. It's a terrifying way of framing it. I will tell you, my older sister Miriam, 9 years older than I am, when she turned 30, so I was just 21. I actually called a local flower shop and I sent a bouquet of balloons to her office. and the bouquet of balloons on her 30th birthday, the card said, "Happy 40th, big sis." And I will say she called me up on my cell phone and she said, and I apologize for the language, but this is my sister Miriam. She says, "You little shit."
Yeah, exactly.
So somehow she didn't appreciate my saying she was 40 when she was 30. So you may think 40 is really young, but I got to say, our viewers, we've got teenagers and folks in their 20s, and I got to tell you right now, you know what they're saying to you, Benjamin? They're saying, okay, boomer.
Boomer. That's true.
Just be clear. You are fully on the geriatric side of things.
I just can't wait to see what new sponsors I can go solicit, and they're going to be like, let's see, Gray Inn. They're going to be, hearing aids for sure. We got to get that in here real quick. Yeah, I'm excited. This opens up a whole new world to this show. I cannot wait to talk about my older friends.
Yeah. I have to admit, I've also been sort of a mean friend. A buddy of mine turned 40 a number of years ago, and I had two presents for him. I got him some Metamucil so he'd be nice and regular, and I got him some Viagra, which I knew he would never need. But I was just trying to look out for him. You got to be there for your friends.
This is amazing. After all the what you've given me about Ole Miss, by the way, for that, this is just Jesus giving me a gift. So happy 55th birthday. Sorry, I need to say that louder. Happy 55th birthday over there. I'm excited for you.
And I want to congratulate on Ole Miss.
Did you see this? Second round.
For Lane to get such a big bonus. Like you guys really take care of people who leave you at the altar. Like, holy cow.
I mean, you know what? I just love that we beat Tulane by more than we did when we beat them in the regular season with him being our coach. We are in the second round. That's a big deal. And then, look, there's an exciting moment. We'll get to play. Oh, wait, no, we won't get to play your team because you guys lost.
Yeah, that was. I was at Kyle Field. It hurt.
Yeah.
And so I've had 2 games in 2 days, 1 loss and 1 win. Preferred the win to the loss. Actually, all right, the Aggie game yesterday was frustrating because I went to 2 Aggie games this year. Well, 3. I went to the UT&M game, but I was rooting for both. I'm Switzerland on that. So
you're Switzerland. That's a smart man right there.
I love them both. But as you know, I went to the A&M Notre Dame game in South Bend, which was just spectacular. Like, have you been to a game at South Bend?
I've been to one. It's unbelievable. It was, by the way, freezing, but it was awesome.
So it was beautiful when I went. It was a great fall day and just a bucket list event. Like, I'd never been there. You see touchdown Jesus looking over the end zone is pretty spectacular. And it was, number one, an amazing game. It was a pure shootout. There was no defense on either side. It was just all offense.
Yeah, aired out football.
And I turned to the folks I was sitting with, and I said, wow, whoever has the ball last is winning.
Yeah.
And it ended up A&M had the ball last, so we won. And I got to tell you, I was in maroon. I was loud. I was obnoxious. I was cheering for the Aggies. And the Domers were the classiest fans I've ever seen. They were polite. They were gracious.
Yeah.
Both Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett was there, and I did talk some smack at them when Notre Dame lost. And even they were kind of gracious. They're like, yeah,
as
like
you should.
But it was all right. Okay, so here's something funny. I'm down walking on the field, and a number of fans see me, and I guess the folks there they were cheering and liked me. The folks there, I mean, there are peeps. Yeah. And so I was waving, and then I was like doing a thumbs up, and I realized it's a gig 'em. And I'm like, oh, crap, I'm not trying to be obnoxious and like flip you off. But like if you're in Kyle Field and you did a hook 'em, you would get booed. And I'm like,
for sure.
Goodness. And so thankfully they didn't boo me, even though I gave a thumbs
Matthew
up.
McConaughey's the only one that can probably get away with that at Kyle Field and like not get
all
totally
right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's that guy. Okay, fine. Fair enough.
So the Notre Dame game, no defense, and just a pure shootout. And the Aggies had the ball last, and so we won. Fast forward to Saturday. Awesome defense. We went through three and a half quarters with the score 3-3.
Okay, so pause. You were there, and for everyone that's listening right now that watched that game, the number of field goals missed, not by one team, on both sides of the ball was insane. As I was watching on TV, it did not look as that windy. So was it that bad, or was it they were overcompensating? Was it really that windy?
Yeah, I don't have a good answer on that. It didn't feel that windy in the stands. I mean, it was a beautiful day. It was just a gorgeous. It was warm outside. It was a spectacular day for football.
Yeah.
And, the ribbons on the end of the goalposts, they were blowing, but they weren't like sticking straight out. It wasn't like there was a hurricane in there or something, but it was amazing, missing field goal after field goal. And I turned to them. I was, sitting with a bunch of Aggies, and I said, okay, if I'd have told you we'd make it three quarters and hold Miami to 3 points, how thrilled would you be?
Yeah, you'd be ecstatic.
And at the end of the day, we lost 10-3 because it turns out if you play a football game and you can't score a single touchdown, it's really damn hard to win. And if we could take that Notre Dame offense and the defense against Miami and actually put them in the same game, they could go the whole way. But sadly now, they will not.
Since it's your birthday, I just want you to know we will adopt you for the rest of the playoffs as a rebel. Okay, you can. I'll bring you a shirt. I've got a few of them. I might be. I've got a couple hundred of them. I can spare one.
Okay, I will give you some information.
Like you need to be in. I feel like you need to still be in the playoff in the game here. Yeah. And since you really don't have that, I want for your birthday. I don't want you to feel alone. Okay, so there's my birthday gift to you.
So Ben, I'll give you some information. Tommy Tuberville, my colleague in the Senate.
Oh yeah, you remember he screwed Ole Miss back in the day. Don't forget that.
Soon to be governor of Alabama. So he was the coach at Auburn, and so we're all interested. Like at lunch this week, everyone asks him, says, Coach, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So Tommy's made a prediction. He is predicting Texas Tech to win it all. He says Tech is the champion this year. So that's now. Look, Tommy used to coach at Tech. He used to coach at A&M, and then But it's just interesting. The guy's a heck of a football coach, and that's his call. So I'm cheering on Tech all the way. I had predicted Tech against A&M in the finals, and I was going to pull out my Switzerland shirt again if that happened.
As you should.
But now I can unequivocally root for the Red Raiders. Like
you're a Red Raider. You got your guns up. You got your guns up, right?
There are no other Texas teams, so I am excited about it. And by the way, I'm thinking of the folks that listen to us. So there's like a divide. Some of the folks that are regulars on our show, like, oh, this is fun that you guys are having some fun, and it's Christmas time, and you're talking about what normal people do during Christmas time, which is watch football and give each other grief. And then there are other people who are just complete politics nerds, and I don't say that as an insult because Ben and I are the biggest politics nerds on the planet.
We went pro in that. We literally went pro in it.
And there's some of the politics nerds that are like, damn it, like, we're not covering any substance right now. Why are you guys yabbering about the foosball instead of focusing on what's happening? And we're going to talk about what's happening in the country. There's a lot happening in the country.
All right, so I have to tell you this because you're going to laugh. Talking about geeking out. So I'm in a Bible study on Thursday mornings. Mm-hmm. And, like I'll be on the road and I'll travel and you miss and come in. And so I come in and a buddy texts me in the Bible study. He's like, hey, you finally have another rebel. And I'm like, another rebel? Like, he's like, yeah, we got a new dad, that Ole Miss guy. I'm like, can't wait to meet him. I walk in. I will protect the names here. But it is like a 10-year NFL Titan who went to Ole Miss, who shows up in my Bible study. So now it's like gone completely off the chains because all you need is one. You just need one, right? I just needed one buddy who was in this with me. And so now like the chirping, because we got a bunch of Aggies, you got a bunch of TCU, you got a bunch of Texas guys. I just needed one. And so now we walk in like proud peacocks every day in Bible study because it's like I just needed one. I got my Ole Miss buddy. We're good to go now. And I'm like, this couldn't have been better for me. I get to go to Bible study and, like you said, geek out over football.
And look, the good thing is in Bible study, there's nothing in the Bible about pride, so you shouldn't feel bad about that at all.
Not at all. Not at all. By the way, did you go to church on Sunday? I'm putting you on the spot here. I love doing this. This is fun for me. I went. I looked for you. I didn't see you. I'm not saying you were there or weren't there. But our pastor is an Aggie, and he literally made sure he worked into the false idols, into the sermon about going to the A&M game and what happened to the A&M game, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
I have not talked to our pastor. Both he and his wife are Aggies, and I'm sure they were mourning. I was not there today. Thank you for outing me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I did look. I looked. I know where he sits, guys, so I know if he's there or not.
I was, and actually, our pastor texted me last night and said, hey, are you going to be there tomorrow? Like he had someone he wanted me to meet, and I had to like fess up and say, no, we're like, a lot going on. I'm sorry we're missing it. We are going. We'll be there Christmas Eve. But
see, there you go. You got that. You're gonna. Yeah.
I've got my in-laws coming in tomorrow. I've got my brother-in-law and his wife coming in. We've got family. But we did not, in fact, go today. And thank you for.
You're welcome. On your birthday, I just wanted. God's gonna bless you. It's your birthday. You get a freebie on that one. It's fine. You're gonna be okay. All right, on to the geeks, to the politics.
But by the way, I will say this: whenever anyone has a birthday, I do actually have advice to someone.
What is that?
If you ever want to feel young, just get yourself elected to the U.S. Senate. Like, holy cow, the median age is like
you're still
106. I mean, they really do think I'm in short shorts and wearing a beanie. I mean, I've got colleagues that reminisce about Eisenhower.
Who is the youngest member now? I mean, you were at the bottom for a very long time. You're still in the lowest end. Is it Katie Britt?
Well, Katie's on the young side. Josh Hawley's on the young side. Ossoff, Schatz. All right.
Cotton.
I'll tell you what. We all have supercomputers in our pockets, so let me
That's very true.
Who is
I love
youngest...
You want the Senate. You want the big leagues, as I call it.
Oh, I don't want the youngest in all history. Although, interestingly, who's the youngest senator in history?
I have no idea.
Nor did I. Samuel White.
From what state?
Born December 1770, died November 4th, 1809. You have to be 30 years old when you start, and age at the start of the term, 30 years, 2 months, 27 days.
Okay, there you go. Right. That's young.
Okay.
Congress is 26 or 27? House?
25.
Oh, it's 25. Okay, it's 25. Then 36 to be president.
Ossoff, 38 is the youngest senator, so from Georgia. So I mentioned Ossoff. I knew he was in replacing Josh Hawley. So what did I say? I said Hawley. So Hawley, who had been the youngest person at age 41.
Yeah.
So when I was elected to the Senate, I was 41. So
were you the youngest that year, or close?
Yes. I don't know that for sure, but I assume so. All right. Here's a bit of trivia. How old was Joe Biden when he was elected to the Senate?
Oh, he had to have been in his 30s because he was there forever.
He was there forever, but this is actually a weird bit of trivia.
34?
When he was elected, he was actually 29.
No,
the constitutional minimum is 30.
But he took office. He had the birthday.
He turned 30 before he was sworn in. So he was eligible by the time he was sworn in, but on election day, he was not old enough to be a senator.
And he never left.
And by the way, that was 1972, so I was a year I'd not even turned 2 when Biden was elected, which gives you a sense. That's what I mean by, like, you get in the Senate and they're just like 55 does not even count. That's kindergarten in Senate years.
It's incredible. Well, happy birthday, 55. That's a big one. By the
way, there's a pecking order of senators, which is, we sit next to each other in the dais and you look over and it's how big your font is. And the older you are and blinder you are, I'm not going to out any of my colleagues, but I will say there's a colleague of mine.
But there's some that are very big. You can read from the gallery upstairs.
It's got to be
without zooming in.
40 points, like they're like 7 words on a page.
Yeah.
And I have it a little bigger. I have 16-point font because it makes it easier to look down and read it. But it's literally, you could see the gradation of age by just how big your font is.
All right, final question on your birthday. Is your family a gift-giving family, or are you buy your own gift for your birthday so you get something you want?
Yeah, I don't buy my own gift. And I have to admit, like as a kid, I cared about birthday gifts. I'm not really, there's not a whole lot I want. I'm a pretty happy guy. Like if there's something I really want, if I want, I just go buy it because I'm not, So I don't know. I have yet to see. My family will get me something. Maybe they'll give me a shirt or a tie or something, and I'll say thank you. A friend of mine actually brought some pretty cool, a cool gift, which was a box of cigars that she had special made for them and had a label with my name on it and the campaign logo. And I was like, all right, that's cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that was kind of a. But I'm not sitting here longing for anything, and I will contrast that to my daughters who send links to 100 different things they want for Christmas, and they're like, okay, buy this one and this one and this one, and it's pretty. And Heidi,
how was that? By the way, how expensive was the PowerPoint presentation this year?
Oh, if you bought everything.
So I don't know if they missed last year's show, one of your daughters does a legit PowerPoint presentation for her Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's a full presentation, which is awesome. And so what'd you rate it? Did you give her like an 8 out of 10? How good was it this year?
So this was not as egregious as last year. Last year was insanely expensive, but this had, I don't know, 30 or 40 options in them. If you got them all,
why. You know why, don't you?
Why?
Because the car is coming.
Look.
We're in the window.
If you got them all, it'd be like $50,000 because she'll put really expensive things on there, and she does not get them all. Maybe she gets 5, and there's some a top and some sweatpants, and we'll pick and choose, and then she'll include a $9,000 necklace. I'm like, okay, that's cute. No, but she puts them on anyway, and so. But Heidi does something even more amusing, which is she goes out. You asked, do you shop for yourself or for others? Heidi will go out and go shopping and buy herself things for me to give her for Christmas. And she'll
does
go
she
buy
make you wrap it, or does she wrap it for you?
She'll come back, she'll wrap it for her, and she'll write to Heidi Love Ted. And she's literally has bought it. And so this year she has this nice scarf that she saw that she really liked that she bought. And she had it wrapped and under the tree. And we went, I told you today, to the Texans game. And she decided she needed something with red in it. And so she went and unwrapped her
no, she didn't.
gift to wear it to the game. And I think she's going to wrap it again and then open it on Christmas. And so when she pulled it out and she's putting it on, she's like, oh, this is the scarf you got me. And I'm like, oh, that was very thoughtful of me. I'm really very kind.
You're like, you're welcome. look at who you're welcome. All right. If my wife is listening with kids, this is when you turn it off. So this year you talk about lists. So George, one of the twins, he straight up, walked up to Santa at the Meet Santa thing. Straight as an air, walked up assertive. He's like, I want this dog. My friend has this dog. This is what this dog looks like. Santa, can you please
don't give the answer to this. I don't want to blow your kid's Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm doing an intervention. Do the ask,
but it was very direct.
Okay,
it was very direct. And so then Bradley's like, okay, well, if you're going, I'm going to go, my 9-year-old. So he walks up and he's very smart. He's like, I like to go hunting with my dad. I need a shotgun more than a Red Ryder, which I already have. So we took him hunting. My dad brought his shotgun that became my shotgun that now is my son's shotgun. So he got his Christmas gift early, but then he had to rewrap it.
410, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, what is it?
So 20 gauge, single shot, 20 gauge. And then the second one, my dad brought it, which is a pump action, he'll get probably in a year or two. So that, but like right now, so we took them duck hunting. And he was the proudest kid you've ever seen. I mean, he was just sitting there with his real man shotgun with his one bullet. I was like, and my brother-in-law's, his son got one too. So we kept calling him Barney Fife. They didn't know what it meant, but they got their one bullet. We're like, make it count. You got one bullet. Like you got one bullet, and they had the time of their life.
And let's be clear, you owned a gun store for many years, and some of our listeners are going to be freaking out saying Ben says shotguns fire bullets.
Yeah. That's how you met with shells.
You sound like a USA Today reporter.
Yeah, it's like magazine. I love when people are like, is it a clip or a magazine? Like, I can run circles if I want to go there. If like that's the thing. But yeah, like it's Barney Fife. Barney Fife had the one bullet, right? Not a shell in his pocket, and so that was the
purists about magazine and not clip. But I don't know. I call them clips. Like I don't get why it's like such a heresy to call them a clip.
Look, there's dorks in everything. In politics, there's dorks. In sports, there's dorks. And in shooting, they're mega dorks. And what I say is, like, anytime that people do that, I'm like when I own the store, they're like, well, how many guns do you have? That's like a measuring thing, right? Like, how many guns do you have? Are you really? I'm like, I mean, I have like 300 to 400. I mean, granted, they're all in a store, but technically I own them, right? Like, I was like, yeah, I've got a decent collection, 300 to 400 guns. And,
so I will say...
a dozen machine guns, but nothing big.
Yeah. So when you're a senator from Texas, like people have certain expectations of you, and so like I hunt, but I don't really call myself a hunter because people who go hunting like nonstop, I go hunting once or twice a year. I enjoy it. I like birds. Birds are the most fun to hunt because they move and it's energetic and you're engaging.
I'm not a big deer hunter. I like to be able to talk and have camaraderie while hunting, which is bird hunting.
Yeah, no bird hunting. I will say I've been like.
You ever been with Dick Cheney?
No. Okay, I'm very glad.
It's been long enough. We can still joke about that.
Although I was actually hunting in South Texas, in Alice, Texas, right by the Armstrong Ranch. So for those who don't remember this, when Dick Cheney was vice president, he went hunting. He was quail hunting, and he shot a man.
Yeah.
And the guy's name was Harry Whittington, who was a lawyer from Austin. I knew Harry. And oddly enough, I was on the adjoining ranch. This is down in South Texas, and I was deer hunting. And I got, this gives you a sense of the time, over my BlackBerry, which were these devices that you used to get, that you would get emails before you had smartphones.
Yeah.
I saw a headline.
I had one.
Oh, the keyboard was so good.
It was so good. I would go back tomorrow if they brought it back. Yeah. I really would.
So the headline comes, Vice President shoots a man. And I'm like, surely that can't be real. That's metaphorical. Like shoots the bird at him, right? Yeah, right, nope. Like shotgun blasted, and it was. So yes, I was down there for that, and a joke I've told on the trail is a lot of people don't realize when that happened, there were more than 200 phone calls to Texas Parks and Wildlife asking how much for a license to shoot a Republican lawyer. And I gotta say that joke. It works.
That'll play on the campaign trail for sure.
By the way, Harry Whittington, he had buckshot all in his shoulder. They left most of it in, and so when he would go through an airport metal detector, he'd set the metal detector off because for most of that,
steel. He's probably shooting steel. Yeah.
Yeah, like it didn't make sense to take it out. It was healthier just to leave it in. Thankfully, he survived. He was not, and I do remember thinking, it would have been interesting, not in a good way, but if it had been the other way around, if someone's hunting with the vice president and shoots the vice president, Secret Service might have shot the guy dead. Like if you think about how the reaction would have been.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hunt once or twice a year. I enjoy it. One time I was up in South Dakota pheasant hunting, and I like pheasant hunting. I like quail too. But pheasants are bigger and slower, so I hit more of them. So it's kind of more gratifying.
It's easier and it's fun.
But when I was up in South Dakota pheasant hunting, it was very funny because every time I was there, like 20 guys, so sort of birds would flush and you'd have just boom, 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 bunch of shotguns going off, and no matter who hit the bird, the other guys there would go, "Nice shot, Senator." And I was like, wow, this is the first hunt in my life I was credited with more birds than I fired shells.
Yeah.
And
you're
it
like,
just did.
You limited out for the first time ever.
It was a lot of fun. So have I told you?
So you know my dad's my family, his family's up in North Dakota, Botno, North Dakota.
Yeah.
It's flat and there's a lot of snow geese there. So when I think I was 6, they put me in the back of the truck. It was really cold. My uncle and my dad's uncle, so my great uncle, drives us out there. They blindfold you. It's like part of the deal. And then they get you ready with a gun, and they blow the horn, and the whole field is white, and it just lifts up. And it's geese. And then they tell you when to shoot. And I shot 2 snow geese with 1 410. That's how many there were in the air. Got 2 blindfolded. And that was the first time I ever went hunting. Blindfolded.
Okay.
They blindfold you.
Let me just say, I love you, dude, but I'm not going to be with you when you have a gun and are shooting it blindfolded, and I'm like anywhere near you.
But it was what a great way to get like your first hunt. Like it's a rite of passage. But the whole field, like the dirt up there is pitch black dark. The soil is incredible in North Dakota. And so the whole field's white. They hit the horn, and the whole field just lifted up. And it went from white to black. Okay,
so a story I'll tell you. Go back like 5 years ago. Glenn Youngkin is running for governor of Virginia. And Glenn is a good friend. And I campaigned all over Virginia with Glenn. We did. So in the primary, going into the primary, Glenn was actually in second place. He was not winning. He was in second at the time. And we ended up doing 7 or 8 rallies all over Virginia, just Glenn and me, the 2 of us. And they were huge rallies. And so I spent 2 days barnstorming him the 2 days before the primary. And we would have people show up, and they would actually show up. Some people would be wearing the shirts of his opponent. And at the end of the rally, when they saw him, they were impressed. They'd pull off their opponent's shirt, and they'd grab like a Youngkin yard sign.
That's pretty awesome.
That
was Virginia, a cool momentum campaign at the very end. There was a big momentum switch at the very end of that campaign, which I think is the most fun campaigns to be on. And
Virginia has this sort of curious hybrid where it's sort of a primary, sort of a caucus. So there were I don't remember, 50,000 people who were going to be voting in who the nominee was going to be.
Yeah.
And we had, at the rallies we were at, I think we had more than 5,000 of them. So we literally had 10% of the actual voters physically present with us within 48 hours of Election Day. So I think that rally had a real impact. But I told a story, and look, Glenn at the time was just getting known. And so some of it is, I think some of the folks that came out to the rallies were conservatives who knew me, who were coming out and giving him a chance because I was saying, listen, this is a good guy.
You need to look at this guy.
Yeah. And my philosophy is the William F. Buckley rule. I support the most conservative candidate who can win. And I want both. I want a proven conservative, show me your record, but I also want a path to victory. Like, we're not screwing around. Yeah. If you can't win, I'm not interested in tilting at windmills. We got to win. And so I told a story, and it was one of the ways of getting credibility. I said, look, year or 2 ago, Glenn and I were out shooting on a ranch. Now, we didn't mention that the ranch is actually, Glenn owns a ranch in Texas, in the Hill Country.
Yeah. You leave that out. Yeah, that's good. That's a good leave out.
It's a bad idea if you're campaighning in Virginia to mention he lives in Virginia. He's a Virginian, but he does own a gorgeous ranch in the Hill Country
in Texas
that I've stayed at multiple times, and it's just beautiful. It's on the Guadalupe River. And I said, all right, we were out at the shotgun range playing a game called Annie Oakley. And so Annie Oakley is you throw up a clay, and the first guy shoots. And if the first guy misses, the second guy shoots. And if the second guy hits it, the first guy's out.
Yep.
By the way, if the second guy misses...
It's like knockout, yeah.
Yeah. The third guy shoots. If the third guy hits, the first 2 are out. So we're out there playing, and I said, I'm there with Glenn. I said, I'm there with this kind of really uptight, intense guy, and then me. And so I
love that guy remains nameless. Keep going.
So the clay gets thrown out. Glenn shoots and misses. He's a good shot, but he missed that one. In between us is the really intense, uptight guy.
Yeah.
He shoots. He misses. I'm third. The clay is trailing down. And I get a lucky as hell shot, and I hit it. Boom! It shatters. So I tell that story. All right, I'm going to tell the listeners a verdict who the uptight guy was.
I cannot wait for this.
It was Paul Ryan.
No way.
who I think was still the Speaker of the House, I believe.
Yeah.
Although I don't remember the exact timing. And Paul's a great guy. Paul is a friend of mine, but he's a serious hunter. Like he's one of the hunters. Like he goes hunting in Wisconsin. He goes deer hunting and turkey hunting, and he's one of the guys that like covers himself with urine.
Yeah,
and I'm just a believer. I don't put like urine on my body. That does not. That's not my thing.
You're not putting blood on yourself to smell like them. Exactly.
So Ben, I will confess, and I like Paul, and we're friends. But when I shot and hit and knocked both him and Glenn out, I couldn't resist. I turned to him and just deadpanned, "Welcome to Texas."
Yeah, that's exactly. And
I'm an okay shot. Listen, in Texas, there are a gazillion people who are much better shots than I am, but I am decent and can hold my own. And at least that time, it was pretty fun.
That is actually amazing. And Paul is if people don't know, Paul is like one of the most competitive guys, no matter what you're doing. Like, he was competitive with like CrossFit when he was in the house.
Oh,
he was obsessed with working out. Like, that was like, he could work out harder than anybody else. Yeah, Paul does not like to lose. That is a great way of putting it.
Well, listen, I want to say to all our Verdict listeners, we've been doing this a long time. We do it 3 days a week. We do it late at night. In fact, looking at, all right.
It is your birthday.
Let's look at it. It is officially 12:03 in the morning. So as of 3 minutes ago, I just turned 55 years old.
Happy birthday.
I will
you
say
old man.
My mom is 91. We're going to go out to dinner tonight with my mom and my dad and my whole family, and I'm going to tell my mom, "Wow, you're old. How do you have a 55-year-old son?"
A 55-year-old. Heidi's married to a 55-year-old man. Don't forget to remind her of that tonight.
Now, to be clear, when Heidi turned 50, you know what she did on her 50th birthday?
Yes, I do know this, which is still insane. She's like, "Hey, I'm 50. I'm going to run a marathon." Like, who says that? Heidi does.
She ran the LA Marathon. Didn't do it on her birthday, but she did it in celebration of her birthday. So she did it a few months later, and it was. So my question is, you're not that far away from 50, Benjamin. Are you going to run the LA Marathon on your 50th?
There is no chance in hell.
Just checking. Just
we're going to take that off the table. For my 50th birthday, I will do something like a midlife crisis. Like, I'll go buy a really cool car that's in a manual transmission, because you know me in cars, I like fast cars. I'll do that. I might sign up to like play a very legitimate 50+ like tennis tournament where you can win a gold ball. That's like the standard. And like that, I might train for that. Like, I'm going to be 50. Let's see if I can, my best friend, doubles partner from college, let's play a doubles tournament together and see if we can win a gold ball. There you go.
I like it. That's quality. Let me just say, we've got about 1 million regular and dedicated Verdict listeners, and if you count radio, we've got millions of listeners. Let me say to all you guys, thank you. I mean, I appreciate you. I appreciate this is like having each of you into our living room 3 days a week and having a conversation. And sometimes Ben and I give each other grief. Sometimes we talk about what we're mad about. Sometimes we talk about what we're happy about. We try to give you information you can't get anywhere else. And I'm just grateful for this amazing community, because I really do think, Scripture talks about it takes a remnant. And I think there are men and women who believe in liberty, who believe in America, and I believe it's the listeners of our show and those across the country who are committed to liberty, who are going to save America. And so I am grateful for you. It's why we put the time in, and so on my birthday, I don't know about you, but sometimes I get contemplative on a birthday and think about where we are and where things are going. And I just want to say to every listener of Verdict, thank you. I appreciate you. You guys are amazing.
And I'm just glad I remembered how old you were. That's just like, it's a full circle. Full circle there. I like that. Happy birthday, sir. 55. Don't forget, we do the show Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you're on social media, send a birthday message. I would put it in all caps and larger size font if you can.
Big font.
Big font, happy. You might want to send multiple tweets, like just happy, then birthday. You want to do it that way. So make sure he can actually see that and read it on his phone. And we'll see you back here on Wednesday morning.